Okay guys, today we're going to take a look at Ripple. And we're also going to take a look at it from a fundamental side. Believe it or not, yes, we are guys. We are going to take a look at this from a fundamental side because there's a lot of news that's impacting the price of Ripple right now. And everybody has been wondering, how the heck did it go from 20 cents to literally $3.30, okay? I think 3.30 was the high. And now all of a sudden, why is there such a decline that is just such a downtrend? So we have to think of all of the reasons. And I can see it from a technical analysis perspective that there's some fundamental force driving the price down from something so incredibly parabolically bullish to something that is now on a tear downwards, right? So I don't even need to look at the fundamentals to realize that there is something external that's making this price go down to these amounts. And we should all agree as well, right? Now I'm going to explain to you guys like technical analysis and what it really is, right? So a lot of people have said to me, you're not even going to consider what the company is doing, what it is, etc. And you're just going to look at the charts. Yeah, you can't just do that. And you know, that's usually what I do. But don't get me wrong, like for the past few months, right, there hasn't been anything too major. And I have tweeted a little bit about the ICO bans and the regulations, right? But I can also see it from a charting perspective that there's something that is happening that is making the price do something like this, which also sets predictable events as well from a charting perspective. So I hope that makes sense as well. So now we're going to take a look at it. And you know, first of all, what a technical analyst is they believe that the market's price and all the relevant information impacting the market, right? It's all seen in the price action already. So you can see everything in the charts. And then they don't really look at things like external factors like economics and fundamentals and news going on, right? They believe that patterns tend to repeat themselves and price action is something that can be analyzed. And that's why we focus on charts. And that's the true definition of the technical analyst, all right? Now, I see from these charts that something is so drastically wrong that is going on with it right now. And we need to wonder why. So first of all, you know, Ripple has lost a massive amount. And I don't know if you guys know, but since South Korea, they've been cracking down just in general. Okay, guys, 2017, earliest 2017, when Bitcoin was under 4 digits, right? When Ethereum was under $10, like under $20, we'll say. Early 2017, the crypto market was not this big. And we all can acknowledge that. And now all of a sudden, the crypto market jumps in literally 1 year, guys, from, you know, $700, $500 ranges to $18,000. And then Ethereum just skyrockets from $10 around there to like $1,000 in 1 year. And all of these hot coins are now coming into the market, right? Where now the market cap, it has increased by a tremendous amount. So of course it's going to raise a lot of law issues and regulations that have come up. So anytime law regulatory enforcements get into play, they will set back the potential, or not set back, but they'll regulate the market to the point where there's going to be these types of crashes. And Ripple, it's traded heavily. It was traded on one of the most heavily traded exchanges in South Korea. And then one day CoinMarketCap, let me see if I can find that information. I forgot which site it was, but they removed it from their site. Right? So, and that alone, it sent a lot of the market cap to go down because people were just selling off in mass amounts, right? And also in China as well. China has been talking about banning mining in general, right? There will be no mining in the country as well, and China users they're restricted to using only Chinese exchanges. So if they want to get rid of mining in the country where the majority of the world the mining is centralized in China there, well, that's going to cause some issues for Bitcoin as well. But the coin that did the best when Bitcoin was still correcting was actually Ripple. Ripple did the best, believe it or not, right? Ripple skyrocketed till January 4 there when Bitcoin was already correcting by January 4, big time. See, take a look. So Bitcoin started to correct around December 17. If we look at January 4, 5, 6, around there, right? Sure, it went up with Bitcoin from December 31st, right? But around this time, from December 21, 22, 23, we can notice that Ripple has actually been going up. Where's my Ripple chart? Oh, it's right here in front of me, right? So around here, December 16, 17, Ripple is still going up. So that's kind of cool as well. Now, if we look at it from a charting perspective, so we got some of the fundamentals out of the way, right? We got some of the fundamentals out of the way. And we have to acknowledge that, like, the whole ICO thing as well. The whole ICO thing with China, and man, with all these, like, fraud, basically. Fraud and scams, right? Where people are being, they're being charged for committing, plain and simple, fraud. So these ICO markets, they're now being regulated and governments are stepping in. So when you factor in the cases of people losing money, like the public losing money in general in an unregulated market, combined with something that's reaching a ridiculous market cap right now, right? Unregulated market, unlimited amount of money potential, maybe the government needs to step in right now. And right now is a very critical time in the crypto world for things to get regulated. And whether we like it or not, it's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. Like, speaking as a Canadian, early 2017, there are many ways to withdraw your crypto and convert it to fiat under the radar. But now, you know, like Bitcoin machines are requiring ID. Anywhere you go on Canadian exchanges like Quadriga CX, you know, all information is to Equifax as well now. And not only that, all Bitcoin debit Visa cards, there's not a single Bitcoin debit Visa card that works in Canada, guys, that I know of, okay? We're talking about Zappo, we're talking about Wirex. All of these coins, they don't work in Canada, guys. Like, you can't order it to Canada anymore. Like, my Wirex was canceled, and it says it only works in the UK now, or in Europe, I mean. Or, sorry, outside Canada, basically, right? Like BitPay as well. I can't get that in Canada. That's only for the US, like, or in North America at least. I don't know about Mexico, but I can't get that in Canada. It's all been very recent as well. We're talking like August, September, October, where markets are starting to get regulated. And now, what worries me about Ripple in particular is that Korean government is regulating crypto market in general, and the Korean government, or sorry, the Koreans in general, they trade at heavy volumes, guys, at such heavy volumes for Ripple. And when it gets removed from an exchange there, right, or when it's not traded on there as well, of course the volume is going to dry up. And we are seeing this volume dry up right now, guys. We are so freaking seeing this volume dry up right now that it is almost scary to see, okay? We're just going to do a basic Elliott wave first of all to confirm that there's 5 waves up going on. Oh, by the way, guys, if you enjoy my videos, I'd really appreciate an upvote on Steemit, and I'd also appreciate, so should I even count this? I'll count the average. It was probably only on this exchange. And I'd also appreciate you guys to like, subscribe, and share to my YouTube and Twitter as well. And if you guys especially love them, you can of course donate to Luna's cryptocurrency piggy bank, where her and I will probably have a good night out at Moxie's or something, and we'll get like a Caesar. So I'm gonna count my 5 Elliott waves like that. And on a 5-day chart, it looks good as well, right? Just like this. This one looks like only one wave, but if we zoom into a 4-hour chart, right, we can obviously see the 3 waves in here somewhere like that. So just a small 1, 2 right below it, just around there. We can see the 5 waves like that. So that makes a lot of sense as well. An extended wave, an extended, a really strong impulse parabolic move up, and a very strong extended wave up. And a Ripple, during the move up, I mean, if we just drew it like that, and took the average of it, right, we're not going to take that flash crash. Actually, now we're going to take the average of it right here. I got to move this out of the way. We could have easily projected at least a 1-to-1 extension and a 1-6-1-8 extension. So a 1-to-1 extension. Actually, people nowadays just project to the 1-6-1-8 in that region right there. So as soon as this formed, this and this correction formed, and the impulse wave began, some people would have, if they used Fibonacci and they're Fibonacci trader, they would have just bought it, right? As soon as it broke out, like right here, higher than this high, and it confirmed an uptrend, they would have just bought it, right? So they would have bought it like 140, 150, and they're like, yep, we're going to go for a 1618 extension. We're going to target 250, and they probably just went AFK. That means away from their keyboard, not even looking at it, bought it at 150 there, right? 140, 150, and then they would have just said target the 1618, came back a few days later, and it would have closed, because that's what a Fibonacci trader basically does once they confirm an uptrend. So it was actually really easy to trade Ripple. I mean, yeah, it was pretty fun trading Ripple. I lost some money on Ripple, but of course I won more than I lost as well. So now let's assume, guys, let's assume, okay, sorry, I forgot to do this. Now we're taking Fibonacci from all of this. Now Fibonacci is done in several ways. You guys heard of Fibonacci before, right? So Fibonacci retracement, this is an Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, impulse wave up, first of all. Fibonacci for wave 1, for the wave 2 correction, is done only for wave 1. Fibonacci for wave 2 to 3 is only done for wave, the Fibonacci for wave 4 retracement of wave 3 is only done for wave 3. But what people end up doing is they do this. They do Fibonacci from 4 to 5 only, and then it falls to here where it does the A, B, C to 0.6, and they're like, ah, it's fallen to 7.8, ah, it's fallen to 1. You know, that's not right, because Fibonacci is actually taken all of there like that, okay? Fibonacci for wave 5 is taken for all of here right now. And of course, a very bullish zone would be the 382 level if it bounced off of there, where ABC only went to something like that. And then we start the impulse wave up like that. And then there's also, of course, the ABC where it can go lower to a 0.5 region, not nearly as bullish, of course. And then the golden ratio is, of course, the 618, right? The 618, and that would be a really good bounce, 618 level, right around there. But then if we fall, guys, if we fall, okay, then usually I'll say this: the ABC correction likes to bottom out where wave 4 territory is. Because the reason why is because wave 4 usually retraces somewhere close to the wave 1 territory, which acts as a support like that, okay? Acts as a support. So wave 4 usually likes to retrace somewhere close to the support, and then it goes to 5. And because of that, right, A usually, say, does something like that, right? C likes to retrace to the territory of wave 4, because now all of this becomes a buy zone, right? This becomes a buy zone right here, where you get close to the wave 1, and you get close to wave 4, right? And then C becomes a good buy zone. So usually that's a good case. But now let's say all of a sudden, we end up breaking past where wave 1 or where wave 4 is, right? And we end up retracing to like the 618, even below it. Well, we're passing the golden ratio zone, and now that gets really scary, okay? Now we're going to relate it to the Ripple chart, and this is where the fear comes in, because the fear is real, guys, with Ripple right now, based on a charting perspective and a fundamental perspective as well. This regulation, guys, is real. There have been times where I have been known to withdraw, you know, like to convert from crypto to fiat, you know, to pay for my bills, like under the table and stuff like that, right? Well, because it wasn't regulated. I wasn't doing anything illegal, but it wasn't regulated in any way. So yeah, why not do it, right? And then now this year, the government wants a piece, guys. The government wants a piece of this action. They got to prevent all this fraudulent activity from going on. They got to make sure that the public is protected as well from an enforcement perspective. So we gotta come to expect that there's going to be intervention from the government, right? We can't help it. It's grown too fast. Too fast. Too much money is at stake, and there's too much risk as well, right? This is an untapped market. There's no precedent for it at all. So now we gotta realize how it's affecting it from a technical analysis perspective as well. Now, did we fall to a bullish zone, guys? Did we fall to a bullish zone? Yeah, we definitely did. This here was ABC, okay? ABC. And that one did a pretty big correction. ABC. It did, not only did it do a beautiful correction, but it did a big one. If that was A and this was the point of B right there, and I did my Fibonacci extension, as soon as this B point was reached, right, and it started to downtrend, and let's say that it broke past where wave A began already, a lot of people would actually short it. They would short it because they would target a one-to-one extension. So there are a lot of different possible entry points, right? They would have just set maybe slightly higher than this resistance area right there, and they would have targeted a beautiful one-to-one extension for a 20% short with a 2.28 risk to reward. Not only that, did they actually hit it, right? But it 100% hit it, guys. ABC one-to-one extension falls right there, right? And then what Ripple tries to do, okay? And then everyone says this. They say this, okay? Check this out. They say, wow, okay, that's pretty decent retracement already. It actually made an ABC correction. It's gonna attempt to, it's finished. Literally, ABC is done. There's no other way to look at it, okay? This is the 5 zigzag coming down right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, just by the wick, and 5. That's the ABC correction. There's no doubt about it. And then everybody, including myself, made the prediction of, you know, to buy basically like under between 170 and 190 and shoot for a target of about 225. Sure, it hit my stop loss, but it's up to you guys to manage your stop loss and how you do it accordingly, right? I made a really big profit there because in my last video, we attempted ABC here and we see it form. So now, let me explain to you guys the mechanics of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is called a double 3, or a double or triple 3. Elliott wave double combo, and there's an Elliott wave triple combo. Now, what this attempts to do, first of all, is an ABC correction like that, okay? And if it does a perfect zigzag, which is very rare in nature, but it was beautiful to see Ripple do it. What it attempts to do now is attempts to break out. Because now we have failed, okay? We're clearly not making an ABCDE pattern, right? We're clearly not making ABCDE only holds, guys. Only holds if it's basically making a pattern something like this, okay, like a triangle, right? They have different annotation. That's a triangle, but because it clearly didn't hold to make a truncated C to be like that, it made an ABC like this. Now what this does is it tries to break out after a C position is made. Now that we're not in a triangle, right? It tries really hard to break out. But there's always some sort of resistance met. I'm gonna make it a little bit steeper. It tries to break out like this, but there's always a resistance met. Do you guys know where the resistance is usually met? From the point where wave 5 and wave B meets. And then if it breaks it, awesome, we got an impulse wave. But if it doesn't, it's not gonna happen. And then we actually end up annotating it WXY, where at this point right here of X, okay, think of X for failure. So X did not happen, and then we actually get another impulse wave down there like that. And this one, we just assume the same thing. X fails right there, right? X fails right there. We just assume another one-to-one move. But usually what I would assume is a smaller move, a smaller movement like that. Okay, and A usually doesn't touch it like that. B usually doesn't touch it as well. So there's a possible case where, let's see here. Okay, A does touch it here. Okay, now we're going to assume that this is maybe going to make a bull flag. Okay, a bull flag with 5 touches. Well, now where's the 5 touch, would you say? Check this out, guys. You guys see your flags like this, right? This is how you see your bull flag, right? And you guys see your flags like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. Those are the 5 possible touches, right? For a WXY correction at least. WXYZ we will get into another time. And this one could make another touch somewhere down there, right? ABC just goes down. Or this one even might get a, ABC like that. You never know. But usually there's 5 successful touches. Now that is how a flag consolidation pattern forms with the WXY. I'm going to delete this. I've got some massive OCD issues. So right now, we see Bitcoin on a tear right now from 10,000 or 11,300 to even lower than that right now. And guess what? We see Ripple doing the exact same thing as well, guys. Okay? Now, what we see is we see an attempt to make an impulse wave up, right? It makes an impulse wave up attempt. There's probably 5 waves in there somewhere if I zoomed in, which I'm too lazy to do. It fails even before that. It doesn't even make the wave. So here, okay? Here, it basically fails already because it retraces even lower than to the wave 1 territory. So it attempts to break out right here, right? But it fails. And we actually see, let's see if this actually acts as a resistance. Let's just take a look. It does, right? We get this right here. So right here, it's attempting, and everyone was probably saying, oh wow, we got an ascending triangle, right? We got an ascending triangle that's trying to break it. But the moment that this ascending triangle failed was where it broke through the 55 EMA. They don't always pass, guys. Sometimes they fail. So this point right there would be where we would call the X. We can call it, okay? We can call this X. Something like that. And now we might even be getting a really big correction. Like this could be A, B, C. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this could have been A, B, C somewhere in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Like if you guys count it, like take a look at the count, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One here, and it went up, and then there's another. So we're getting, this one looks like it's going to be an ending 5th wave coming down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one could look like 1, 2, and all of this is 3, 4, and then we get a 5th one like that. That kind of gets wedged in. Like that. Looks like it's wedging in a little bit right now, and this one usually makes 5 touches like that. 1, 2, this could be 3, this could be 4, and these ones can overlap. So guys, right now the volume is just immense. We're talking about on the 45-minute chart, the volume is picking up so much right now that support could be found. Like support very much so could be found right now, and we could be very low. And I want to make note to you guys as well that support could be found, but we are now in between a very weird zone, between the 618 and the 786 Fibonacci region. It's not a bullish zone at all, okay? We're in a more bearish zone right now, but just based on Elliott wave counting, right? If that was ABC, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm counting it right, we could have very well get one more and then even more down. But if I'm counting it wrong, okay? Let's just say that I'm counting it wrong and this one just gets us a very 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm counting it wrong like that, then this is right here, okay? And this one seems likely as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, okay? And here we get the ABC correction. We don't really see it. It's really weak, okay? We get an ABC kind of correction in there. Or we might not have gotten the ABC. It might have been like a, yeah, like an ABCDE kind of correction instead, right? But nevertheless, we'll just call it ABC. So I'm just thinking of different variations of waves. Just ABC there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what if this was 5 right here coming down where it began, okay? This whole area is 1, 2. This whole area is 4, ABCDE. what if, actually that one couldn't be it either. This ABC might even be right here. Maybe a small ABC in here, but that doesn't seem proportional, right? Actually, none of these seem proportional at all. So doing an Elliott wave count in here is extremely, extremely difficult. Let's see if we can tackle it on a daily. No, we can't even tackle it on a daily. All we see is an ABC so far, right? But we don't see another ABC yet at all in here on the daily. So it's still on a tear right now, and we can barely count the waves, right? On a 4-hour chart, maybe we can count it like this. Right here, 1, 2, small 3, 4, 5. But if that one wasn't right, then obviously the third wave would be the longest one right here. 3, 4, and 5, right? And then we get some sort of ABC, like how this one on the counter trend. A counter trend has to happen soon, guys, right? And then we could get a very small ABC down here again. But now, like, I want to make note that, guys, Ripple is defying everything this year and previously last year in that range, okay? And the reason I say that is because they had one of the strongest uptrends despite Bitcoin correcting. So Bitcoin corrects and Ripple still goes at it on a tear, guys, on a tear. Sorry, I was away for a bit. What was I talking about? Because my folks are bringing me food and they're here. My dog loves my parents. My dog loves my parents so much. Lately, she's been staying at my folks and I've been staying there sometimes, and my dog's been staying here sometimes. So she's kind of passed around. She's kind of that kind of dog, you know. So I don't remember what I was saying exactly, but I was saying that, yeah, it is the year for regulation in general. Man, the government, they need to, guys. Like, they need to give it some sort of direction and control the markets a little bit better than this, because I think the general public in general are following for lots of schemes, right? And ICOs especially. That's why I don't chase ICO, guys. I don't chase ICOs because the simple reason is that most of them are scams, right? I mean, if we look at it just from here, is this an ABC like this right here? This could just be an ABC from a 4-hour perspective as well, right? Like, just simply speaking, that could be an ABC. But what's important to make note of is that we're falling into this zone right here, these support zones and a Fibonacci level. So this would be considered where we are now, like a lower range, right? Like the $1 is a very psychological number, and I would say like above possibly right here. So we fell past below the wave 4 support zone where I was talking about, right? The wave 4 support zone. And there's like a gap, if you take a look, okay? A gap between where wave 4 is right here and where wave 1 ends right here, or basically to this zone right here. This region right here is free fall zone, right? It's completely free fall zone right there. That is why we are falling and finding support right here, right now. We are finding support right here, right now, because of this right here. This support right here. Okay, and this zone, I personally think, between psychological numbers as well, is the first tier zone, is the 85-cent range to the $1 range right here. 85 cents to $1 is going to be the first psychological range, and then after that it's going to be pretty much these ranges here, 70 cents to 85. So it could fall between 60 and 85, or 85 and $1, and that's going to be above the next Fibonacci number right there, guys. So we are falling and retracing an abnormal amount, okay? An abnormal amount. Now the worst case scenario, guys, the absolute worst case scenario is that this ends up failing and it even retraces to where this point is, or even below it, right? But for the first impulse wave up, the characteristic is that it could retrace all the way up to 99.999999 repeating percent, and that still counts as an impulse wave, provided that doesn't retrace 100%, and then it makes an attempt up there, right? But obviously we're reaching some very important support zones, 85 to $1, and then below that would be 70 cents to 80 cents, okay? And then below that, obviously, would be even where wave 1 territory is, which is even lower than that, the 70, like the 85s, the 70 cent ranges to the 65. So think of it as 15-cent increments. And then below that would be the 55 for the 40s, and below that, obviously, we fall all the way back down from the 40s to the 25s. So right now, guys, we have absolutely no signs at all of any type of support other than on the daily, where we see this rejection right there so far with a little wick, and we also see tons and tons and tons and tons of volume, right? We see so much volume right now. So yeah, I'm just buying something. Give me a second here. What did we reach for ETP? I'm just checking. We reached $2.11. Wow, it's crazy. I'm gonna be holding my ETP for a while, man. It's gonna be a good hold, I think. It's gonna be a really good hold for a long time. Anyways, yeah, so we're falling to this zone right now for $1. We got rejected. We actually went down to as low as, what did we get to? 94 cents, guys. And then we rejected it by 5 cents pretty much instantly, right? Instant rejection by 5 cents from the 94 cents range to $1, $1, actually more than that. It's like 8 cent rejection so far, right? And this does look like almost 5 waves coming down here already, right? 1, 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5 coming down here soon. So we could, and other than all these Elliott waves, now that you guys know some possible zones, we got to talk about the zones that they're in right now, okay? They're in extremely oversold zones, and we can agree on that. Extreme oversold zones. The 4-hour chart's already at 15. The daily is just on a tear down right now. The 3-hour is so oversold. Nothing is leveling off yet at all. There is absolutely not a single sign of bullishness other than it just being really oversold, and it might bounce soon. This one is still ticking downwards. Like this one right here, we might get a tick like that, okay? Because here, we would count this as the 5 waves pretty much, right? Like that. And that also coincides with where they are pretty much. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, right up here. So the only sign that we might get is that it's going to level off on a lower time frame first, and it might bullishly diverge on the histogram. Nothing right now as we speak shows it. Like the only thing as well is maybe a higher one right here. Okay? Just higher like that right there. What else? Bullishly diverging sort of there. And we're also on a 30-minute chart, guys, which is strong for now. We get lots of volume on this candle specifically, okay? Tons of volume on this candle specifically, and it's also a hammer on a 30-minute chart. On a 1-hour chart, we don't get anything like that yet. Nothing on a 3-hour chart. 45-minute chart is just started. 15-minute chart, we got a hammer there, right? But there could still be one more wave coming down before a slight uptrend is made. We have to also acknowledge the fact that nothing can stay oversold for this long unless the market has entirely collapsed. And we know what's going on right now in South Korea. We know what's going on with China and them trying to ban miners as well. We know with all the fundamental news that's driving the market right now. We know Bitcoin reaching 20,000 all-time high, almost 20K. We know Ripple going from 25 cents to $3.30, guys. So we factor in everything, technical analysis. We factor in fundamental news as well. We can kind of understand why the market is collapsing right now and reaching really much lower lows than they were a few weeks ago, right? It's very difficult for us as people to accept the fact that sometimes things do come down, and it's hard for us to understand that why is it stopping? Why is it not going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, right? Like it was so high before, how the heck is it so low now? So that kind of mentality might set us up for failure down the road, because it doesn't let us adapt to change. And for us to adapt to change, it's how we become more successful as traders down the road. And I firmly believe that that if we are able to adapt and we can plan for failure in these particular cases, it's failing, right? But as long as we know where some bounce zones can be, we can manage our risk. And when we manage our risk, right, we can evaluate how much more to add if it falls into this zone. Should we shedding off our risk? Should we, you know, if we sell it now, we'll take this much of a loss. But if it gets to this region right here and we buy back, you know, would the net profit make up for it? And would it be a worthwhile setup in general? Like, is this more than a one-to-one setup at least for such a small gain? Like, so right now, as it stands, we are in a channel, guys. We are in a massive channel, right? It's such a big channel right now that just looks like this. Now, not only are we reaching the buy zone that I mentioned between $1.04 or $1 and which we passed already, and 85 cents right around there, just to watch out for here, right? Not only are we reaching here, but we're also forming this right here, like this right now. Just if I just go wick to wick, like most extreme case, okay, where we're touching this area, do you see this? I'm touching the wick, pretty much touching the wick, pretty much. We get to this critical apex point right here that signifies kind of a buy zone right here. So guys, there's no clear sign of an uptrend, don't get me wrong, but I do see a 5-cent rejection in general, okay? Actually, is it more than that now? It's been 10-cent rejection immediately with a long wick, and we do get into this critical apex zone right now. I got no signs at all of an uptrend right now, but I do have an apex buy zone. And if that were a possible case, it's really up to you guys, right, to see what's worth it to you and what's not. Even if you bought in now, I'm no financial advisor, always keep in mind, right? I'm no financial advisor in any way at all. I'm just saying what I would do right now, and I'm always speaking from my perspective, guys. This is what I'm gonna do, okay? I'm gonna take probably a chance right now soon, and I'm gonna assume a little bit of a sideways uptrend, right? Because we're in such dangerously oversold zones. I'm going to assume that this is indeed the 5 wave right here very soon. If that is wrong, then the 5 wave is going to be like this instead. But either way, we will get 5 waves coming down to correct like that, somewhere in these zones over here, between $1 and 85, if it does correct lower, right? I'm going to keep my eye on that, and then I'm going to assume that this channel is going to hold, and I'm going to assume that it's going to hit a possible target up to 30 cents, or so not 30 cents, like $1.36 again by the channel. Just maybe around, maybe $1.30, I'll say, okay, just very conservatively. My stop loss would probably be pretty risky, right? It's probably going to be pretty risky below the channel there, like around 80 cents, I'll say. Actually, I'll say 85 cents if it bounces there. Now I got a chance to win 24%, but also a chance to lose big, 18%. So if you're playing up $10,000, well, you got yourself a chance to lose as well. You got a chance to lose $1,800. So it's a little bit scary, despite the risk to reward ratio of 1.32. Then an ideal one would be, you know, you got a chance to lose very little. Like you got a chance to lose 5% or something, say, okay, with a really set support. And you get a chance to win, obviously, something really big, like 50%, right? Like a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio would be really ideal. So as it stands, guys, this is a possible play. Don't get me wrong. It's a possible play, right? But we also have to see what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin right now is on a tear down right now still. It's breaking all supports. There's really no chance of a double bottom anymore, right? It's going to make us flag consolidation, just like how this one is making as well. So if Bitcoin goes down, it's even going to break those regions, okay? Possible scenario, guys. A possible scenario is we find support between 85 and $1. Another scenario, a lower support between 70 cents and 85 cents. And the other scenario is that we do actually level it off. Because guys, look at the oversold zone. It is so oversold right now that there must be some slight bounce to correct, even before it goes down further, right? So those are my thoughts right now, and I hope that it helps you guys make good decisions. But most importantly, I hope that it adds to your repertoire of information that you have already, so you can get technical analysis from different perspectives, and you make your own opinion, right? So you never want to follow someone blindly. And all that I'm trying to do is be a resource of information, but not a primary resource, right? I want to be one of your sources of information, and that's it, basically. Just giving you guys my two thoughts, what I do day to day as a trader as well, who does this full time, right? And yeah, if you guys enjoy my videos, I'd really appreciate you guys. I gotta go right away, my folks are leaving. I gotta go right away to say bye to them. If you guys enjoy my videos, I'd appreciate an upvote. I'd appreciate a like, a subscribe, and a share as well on Twitter and on YouTube. I post a lot of good information as well on Twitter. But if you guys especially love these videos, you guys are welcome to buy me a beer or something and donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank. Other than that, have yourselves a great day, and I hope I have helped you in one way or another. Bye now.